Good morning. Welcome to the Bond Sunday morning services. Thank you so much for being a part of it. You can get involved anywhere in the world, at least in the country, by calling 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. We're anywhere in the world because you can email me, church@bondinfo.org, church@bondinfo.org, and put your name in town, concerning the subject matter of today. And we'll be happy to hear from you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And happy Mother's Day, by the way. And happy Mother's Day out there. It's going to be eaten everywhere. All the cafes will be filled. I have one quick question that I would like to ask. And then, what does it feel like you're going to be a grandmother? You don't look like a grandmother.
I know, it feels weird. I'm just waiting for the feeling. Yeah, I can't even conceive it mentally. It's just.
You don't look like a grandmother, act like a grandmother, or anything. You're going to have to really adjust.
Yeah, I think it'll come natural. Yeah, I'm the youngest of 10, so I babysat
Wow.
off.
Oh, so you're ready for
years
it.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
When did the baby do?
2 weeks.
2 weeks from today?
Really less than 2 weeks, actually. The 22nd.
Are you scared?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm glad I'm not a woman.
Whatever.
I wouldn't want to have to go through that. Can you imagine? And then like I came from a family of, I have 6 or 7 sisters, something like that, and 5 brothers. And just imagine the mother went through that all that many times.
Yeah.
Like once would be enough for me. But congratulations.
Thanks.
I have a question. And my question is, have anybody here ever had good things happen to you?
Yes.
You've had good things to happen to you?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I think so.
Yes.
You're not sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And Ernest, you said, yes, you've had good things to happen to you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And how did you feel about good things happening to you? What does it feel like?
I mean, be grateful to God that it turned out the way it did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you're like, wow.
Appreciative. I said, appreciative.
You're like, wow, this is good, and thank you, God, for it.
Yes.
And then did it last?
Mm-hmm.
It never did go away or change?
No.
It's still happening right now?
Yeah.
What good thing that happened to you that's still happening without changing?
No, you're gonna ask me that. Certain situations that worked out. But I get too personal.
And how did you know it was good?
I mean, it's just evident. Some things are just evident that it was good.
Oh, okay. All right. You say good things has happened to you, and did it last?
Well, it was part of life. I mean, when you graduate from college or you graduate from, for me, the military academy, law enforcement academy. So, yeah, it was great that you accomplished it.
And how did you know it was good?
You just felt good.
You felt good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you accomplished something. So, you learn something, like in the law enforcement academy, they kind of break you down and build you up.
Right.
So, just learning something new and being able to help people in your job.
And you would think wow, this is good because it felt good.
Yeah, I mean, spiritually and physically and
Right.
mentally. You're challenging yourself and doing something different and new and something you didn't know if you could do or not. And, through prayer and through hard work, you got through it.
And then it didn't last. How did you feel when it...
Lasted for, I guess, 13 years.
And how did you feel when it started to change?
A lot of spiritual warfare.
A lot of spiritual warfare?
Yeah.
Meaning what?
Attacks from Satan in the form of men.
And so did you think then this is not good?
These people that were attacking me were not good. Does
Right.
that mean the organization as a whole probably at that time wasn't good? The leadership wasn't good. Does that mean the government wasn't good at that time? No.
Right.
It's just certain people that had certain problems that were very negative.
Very good. Very interesting. You ever had anything good happen to you?
Yes.
Give me an example of something good that happened to you.
Like good grades or something like that.
I can't hear you.
Good grades or accomplishing something in school or
And how did you feel when you realized it was good?
felt good.
It felt good.
Kind of a surprise too at the same time.
Yeah. You were surprised you graduated?
So I was surprised I got decent grades or something like that. Or I'm trying to think of another situation.
I remember once I made an A in high school. I had never made an A before. I guessed at a spelling test when they had true or false. And I made an A and I was like, oh wow, this is so good. I never did make another one. And so how did you know it was good?
Maybe because the way people perceive good. Like, I don't know, like, you know, like how you grow up, this is good, this is bad, so.
Right. And so you felt good about it?
Yeah.
It didn't last?
No.
And after it didn't last, you felt what?
I feel like, wow, that's a bummer.
So it went from good to bad?
Every now and then.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean,
Have you ever?
Oh,
No, go ahead. What?
after a while, you start getting used to it. Like you don't feel anything anymore.
Oh, so you know that if it feels good now, it's gonna feel bad later. It's not gonna last.
It wasn't necessarily bad. It's just if something keep good happening, sometimes you just don't feel happiness. You just kind of feel like, oh, okay, because you expect it almost now.
Oh, so you get to a point when good things happen, you're not too happy about it because you know it's not gonna last.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I can't hardly hear you.
I said that's not what
Speak to
I'm
me
saying.
the way you yell at the people at your headquarters.
No, like, okay, like if something good happens to you, but the same situation that keeps happening, it's kind of like the feeling goes away. It's because you're used to it now.
Right. Oh, okay. Have you noticed that good thing never lasts?
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't that true? Anybody ever notice that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily true.
I'm sorry?
It depends on what it is. I mean, some things just last, you know.
Tell me one good thing in your life that has lasted.
My kids,
It's still good.
His wife.
my kids,
Your kids,
yeah.
they're still good?
Family, yeah.
Oh. Okay. So when you had them, you're like, wow, this is good. Right?
Mhm.
And then you maintain that good all through their life.
Well,
You never once thought, wow, what a bunch of...
well, I mean, you may have some disappointment, but deep down inside, you still have that goodness, because it's your family.
But you don't have that good feeling about family after a while, right?
No,
Is
I
it
do.
like when you get a new car, you feel real good about it? When you get this baby, you feel real good? And like 6 months later, you don't want to babysit that baby or you don't want anything to do with
No.
it? Watch that baby crying? Huh?
Not about family. I feel different about family. I always feel good about my family.
I have grandkids, and I like when they come over, and I like when they leave. I'm all happy both times. But when they were born, I'm like, wow, this is so beautiful. And now they come over, they have too much energy. They crawl all over everything, jumping on the couch. They want to eat, and then they don't want to eat. And they don't want to eat what you have. And so I'm like, okay. Grandpa, gotta take a nap. So I'm happy seeing them come in and happy seeing them leave.
Okay.
Have that anything good ever happened to you? You're like, wow, this is good.
Not really.
Nothing good has ever happened in your life.
I mean, yeah, but it's not that good to, you know, to last. That lasting good.
It doesn't last in good, huh? So why good doesn't last? Anybody know this is why God really wants us to know ourselves. I'm telling you, when you can get to understand yourself, you start to understand, I never thought about this before. Why? And this is why I like talking to people. I've gotten to a point over the last 20 years, and when I talk to people now, I pay like close attention to them because you learn so much from them about yourself and about life. And no one has ever been able to tell me, since I've been asked this question, that they had something good to happen to them and it lasted. And I wonder, why doesn't it last? But, you know, it's in a cycle. It doesn't last. It just doesn't last. Yes.
My best bet is that anything that good doesn't last because we're anything but good. Everything that we do or touch is tainted by our ego, for all I know.
Oh, so you've never had anything good to happen to you?
I like to think of it in this manner. Anything that was good, I knew I didn't deserve.
Well, no wonder it didn't last. It's definitely not going to last if you don't feel like you deserve it. Yeah, Pat. You ever had anything good to happen to you?
Yes.
And did it last?
Yeah.
It lasted?
Yes.
It's still lasting?
Yeah.
Like what?
Job, relationships, this general trajectory of life. I know what you mean about the single things happen, they're good and they go away, but there's certain things that do last.
And what makes you think your job is good?
Well, it may not last after today.
So you never had a point on your job where like, wow, I want to do something else.
Yeah,
I don't have that same excitement I had when I first started out.
I've had that about all good things in my life. I've had periods of, hating it, thinking it was, was on an up and it was down.
So why haven't you maintained that this is good throughout the whole thing? If you thought it was good when you received it.
It is good overall.
No, but why haven't you maintained that good feeling about it?
Well, you didn't ask me about my feeling. You just said it was a good, and I said it is good.
But you felt that it wasn't good, though.
No, I can see that it's good overall. For instance, let's say my job or my family or certain relationships, they are good. It's just that my perception of them during the time has been up and it's been down. But I can look at the long view and say, hey, this has been good.
Oh, so there are times when you don't feel like it's good, and then there are times you do feel like it's good.
Well, there's times where I feel where it's not good or when it is good.
Right.
But I'm just saying, if you look at it from a distance, you can see that it is good.
But why don't you have that feeling of it being good throughout the whole time?
Well, now you're asking a different question.
And the answer is?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a very good question. I'm getting to that, so I may have gotten to it with you.
Okay.
So is it feel?
Have you ever wondered why don't I maintain that good feeling about my family that I had when I first got the family?
Well, yeah, I guess sometimes there's some bad things that happen,
So what?
I said, overall, I guess there's sometimes you'll have some downtime, and that good feeling, and that family relationships,
But if it's good, you shouldn't have any downtime from good.
Yeah, but for the most part, it's still good, I mean, it's just kind of goes along with that good thing,
This is a very interesting question, don't you think? Because I see so many people who are getting good things, and then after a while, it's no longer good. And I'm like, well, what happened to you? You just had a good thing. But it doesn't feel good anymore. Yes, Pat.
I mean, let's put it into like a physical sense. If you had made an investment, and your investment was making money, but any given day it's going up and it's going down. So those days that it's going down, you feel like this is horrible. I don't like this investment. But if you look at it over 5 years' time or whatever, and you made a lot of money at it, that's the same way that other things are, the same way relationships are, the same way family is, and job.
But my question too is, how do you determine that it's good in the beginning that makes you feel so good?
I don't.
Why do you say, okay, like with money, making money in the stock market, when you first start making, you feel good, right?
Yeah.
And what makes you feel good then?
Well, you get. I want to determine if you're talking about if something makes me feel good or is it good? Because you're asking a question, is something good? I'm trying to give you an answer. I perceive something to be good because it appears good to me. The benefits of it, what it's done for my life, all that stuff is good. Now,
So you decide that it's good because it appears to be good.
Okay. I mean, if you
I'm
want
asking that.
Yeah, I mean, I perceive that something is good in my life and it's been good. Yeah, that's all I've got. It's my
And so when your perception change of it being good, do you perceive it as being bad then?
Look, I'm trying to say, I may look at something on a day-to-day basis emotionally in any kind of way, but at a certain point when I look at it overall, I see that it's good. I don't know how to explain that any other than that.
When you look at the whole picture, you see that it's good.
Yeah.
And so you make a decision that it's good because you see that it's good.
Well, I mean, I believe I'm seeing something as it is. Now, it may or may not be my opinion. To me, I believe I'm seeing what it is.
Right. This is not a test. This is a fellowship. So it's just because this is some good stuff where you really see what's going on in your life.
I want to know whether I'm saying something is true or not. I don't want you to I don't want to doubt myself because of that, nor do I want to be under an illusion. So I want to find out with this conversation, with what I'm seeing, is it true or not?
Right. Are you asking me that?
No, I'm just making a statement.
Oh, I see.
Because I understand that in these conversations, the mind, and my mind has done this before, kind of can easily shoot in between doubt of what I know, which is in a way, a bad doubt. In other words, I know something. If I really know something, I should know it.
Right.
If I doubt it, if someone makes me doubt something, then, maybe I don't know it. So I believe I know this to be true right now, and you may show me to be wrong, but at this moment, I believe what I'm saying is true.
Right.
That what I see of something, the overall long view, is true. Now, maybe any given time, it looks like it's up or down to me, but when I see it in a perception that I believe to be true, in a certain way, I'm going to trust that perception until I see something that tells me that's not true.
Oh, okay. And can you be made to doubt what you know to be true?
I think if I really know something, I cannot be made to doubt it.
So when you are made to doubt, it's probably because you really didn't know that it was true?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, Wayne?
No, I was saying that I would say there would be two different kind of goods. I mean, there would be a materialistic good. You got a new car, and it's got the new shine on it. It's, and it rides real smooth today, and that's going to make you happy. But it's going to be a temporary happiness.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's different than a physical type of happiness, like your family or newborn child or something like that.
But even with your family and your newborn child, there are times when you don't like them either. You don't feel good about it. You wish they weren't around. You wonder, how long have you been married?
30 years.
And when you first met your wife, did you think, wow, this is a good thing? This woman is so pretty and wow. Do you think this is a good thing?
Mm-hmm.
And then after you marry her, you're like, what in the world? What was I thinking?
No, I mean,
I should have married Susie or Lily down the road.
I don't think I would have married her if I figured that goodness was going to wear off.
But you didn't have that. There were moments, I'm sure there were many, many moments and years and months when that good feeling was not there. Isn't that true?
Well, I can't say that. I mean, I still felt the same way about it, but there may have been some times that I was disappointed.
You just didn't like her.
Yeah. But I still loved her,
I love her, but I don't like her. This is not a good feeling. Interesting. So have you ever had anything that happened in your life that you deemed was good and is still good? It has not changed at all. Uh-huh. This is so good.
I'd say I don't know, the love for my dad, I guess.
It never changed. You always felt good about him from day one. That's the only body and the only thing in your whole life?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, Susan.
Well, when you asked that question, I was thinking spiritual things that changed some. You know, like I had this burden on my shoulders and saw something spiritually, and it was gone, poof. You know, and it's never come back.
But your happiness didn't maintain itself.
Well, like Pat said.
I wouldn't go there if I were you. No, I'm kidding.
But I feel kind of the same. I mean, this thing, you know, is not there anymore. This burden that I had, I'm free of it. So.
Do you go up and down with joy spiritually too?
With what?
One day you feel spiritual, and the next day a week or two you don't.
I used to. I hope I'm changing lately, but I know what you mean. Yeah, I do that a lot.
So even the spiritual stuff don't last. It's only good for a season.
Well, when the dust settles, I don't know. When the dust settles, I'm happy, you know, for what I have. I don't know. But I don't know what you are asking, man. But that is a question, because I was thinking when you lay down your problems at the cross, that's what I always wonder, because you absolutely say you have been saved, you are falling back. And that's what I want.
I said what?
I want to know how
not to fall back.
How to be happy all
Okay.
the time.
All right.
And that's...
We're going to get to that right in a minute here. Anybody else have you wondered how come it feel good now and now it feel bad? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think when I thought about my situation, the reason why it hasn't changed is because it was a contract. So
Because of what?
because it was a contract, it stayed good.
A contract?
Yeah, contract.
Like a written contract?
Like a binding contract.
Oh, so-
it kind of backs up your point.
So it couldn't change.
Yeah, it couldn't change. But I do have a question, and that is, like what Wayne said, you know, you could have a family, and it's evident that family is a good thing. So your relationship, you may have ups and downs where you are going through something and you may change, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that thing changes from being good to bad. It could still be good, but you could be going through some things where you're up and down about it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that situation or that family is bad or is not.
But my question though, if you felt good about this family in the beginning, why don't you maintain that good feeling about the family? And what made you decide that a family is good anyhow?
I mean, you can see that. You can see that. That's kind of self-evident. I mean, if you get married and you have a family, I mean, it's obvious that that's a good thing.
So if it's self-evident that a family is good,
Right?
why do you change your feeling about the family eventually?
Because people are people and they have issues.
Because why would you get rid of something that's good?
Well, people have issues.
People have issues, but not the person that's feeling good.
No, I mean, you can have an issue.
Oh,
doesn't
so,
necessarily mean the
I got
family
you,
is-
right. So you like this family when you first get it because it feel good, you make a decision that it's good, right? And then when you find out this family has issues, you don't like the family no more, you get rid of it.
But the individual, like, you know, I could have an issue, not necessarily, doesn't mean the family's a bad thing.
Oh, okay.
But people always go up and down like that.
Is that normal?
I mean, not according to you.
Of course. But I haven't said whether it was normal or not. I'm here trying to fellowship to understand. I'm asking questions. You know I am. I ask a lot of questions. Is that normal?
No.
What's not normal?
Should be up and down like that.
So why are you up and down with from the good to the bad thing?
Because I have issues.
Yes, Doug.
Sometimes even with the contract, though, you can feel one way about it in the beginning, and then at the end of the sometime during that contract, you can feel a totally different way.
Because even when you get a contract, you feel good when you sign it, but after a while, it's just a contract. You're back to your old feelings again. It's like that good feeling is gone. You still have the contract, but the feeling about it has changed.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
A new car smells warm up.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, ma'am.
I think emotions, you can't necessarily trust emotions because they go up and down. But something that is like there's happiness in the world and then joy from God, and there's a different feeling. Like we should get our strength from the joy of the Lord, and that will sustain us. But because we're human, we have emotions, and that goes up and down. That's why in a marriage, just because you don't like your husband, let's say today or tomorrow, doesn't mean you should get divorced, because emotions are going to change all the time, and they're not trustworthy. But the commitment to your marriage and to God's institution of the best way to live is what you're committed to, no matter what
Right.
your emotions are that day.
It's hard to stay with someone, though, when you don't feel good anymore about them.
Well, if
Isn't that
it's
true?
long term, you're not feeling good, or today, because you didn't take out the garbage, you don't feel good. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
I mean, because even in friendships with someone that you don't live with, you have a guy friend or I have a girlfriend, you get mad at them, but you're committed to the relationship overall as a friend. Because you're human, you don't like what someone does or says, but your emotions change, but your commitment to that person as a friend doesn't. So
That's the way it should be.
right,
But most people not like that.
right.
Once they don't like you anymore, it's over.
Yep.
It's done. You said the wrong thing, you acted the wrong way, it's over.
Then they were never your friend.
Right.
They're just pretending.
Yes, Rhonda, you had your hand.
Pretty much the same thing. Our emotions are supposed to go up and down like that.
Yeah.
So things I've learned, you go up, financially, go down financially. You can be thinking you're on top of the world, you go down. But, there's something to learn in each thing. So if you can have some joy in going through those things, you'll find something good in it. So you don't have to, so your feelings shouldn't go up and down like that.
So you'll find joy in going up and down?
Not going up and down, but wherever you are, you just have to find joy in that.
How do you find, if you're suffering and hurting and you
You
ain't
don't have
feeling
to
good
suffer. The
anymore, how
suffering
you
is in
find
your-
joy in that?
Because the suffering is in your head.
Oh, so that pain I feel is in my head?
Yes.
Even though it's in my belly, it's in my head?
You might be hungry, but you'll figure out something though, if that's the pain you're talking about, but no.
I don't know anyone, I know in my life, up until the last 20 years or so, I don't know of anyone who have ever had something good happen in their lives and it stayed that way. It didn't turn to, or a bad feeling, whether it's meeting someone or making a lot of money or getting a new car or having a baby or whatever. You feel good, but it doesn't last. And so I started thinking, why is that? I know now, but because I remember when I used to date a lot, and I remember once I dated this girl, long story short, and she was so fine. Did the preacher say fine? Y'all know what I mean by fine, right? All the guys know what fine means. And it built my ego in such a manner that I used to work for this hospital, and I used to deliberately have her to come to lunch. And then I would deliberately walk through the hospital with her, all in the cafeteria, so that all my friends and all the guys can see me with her. And it just built my ego. But then after a while, she started getting on my nerve. And so I didn't feel good about her anymore. I'm ready to switch to another one so I can feel good. Anybody ever done that? And I never paused for a moment to find out how come that feeling left, and then the best I can do is look for something else to make me feel good again. Instead of pausing to see what changed, was it her or me? How come I thought it was good and now it's not good? You know what I mean? Anybody ever done that in your life? You have paused?
You listened to that song where it said beauty's only skin deep?
Yeah, but the only thing I did to it was dance on it, or when we broke up, I sang to it, In Matthew 6, verse 19 through 21, it says, "Do not store up treasures for yourselves on earth, where moth and woodworms destroy them, and thieves can break in and steal. But store up treasures for yourselves in heaven, where neither moth nor woodworms destroy them, and thieves cannot break in and steal. For whatever your treasure is, there your heart will be too." What I know now that I didn't know then is that I was on an ego trip. I was in a fallen state of being, and so all of my decisions were made on what I thought and felt. If it was brand new, I thought of it as brand new, and I thought of it as good, and I felt good. Not realizing that when you are angry, when you are a resentful, judgmental person, you live in the darkness of your imagination. And your father, Satan, is always making decisions for you. And so your imagination makes decisions. So is a man thinking, so as he is. And so I would get these new things, and right away, my thought would tell me, this is good. And I'm like, wow, this is good. You know, thinking it's normal and thinking that what I'm thinking is normal. And I would think, wow, this is good. This is a beautiful woman. This is a great car. This is a great this. And I would absolutely feel good about it because I didn't know that my thoughts were making decisions for me and then were causing me to identify with this new and exciting thing, whatever it may be. It will make me identify with it. And so I would find joy in that because I couldn't see what was working on my behalf and working against me, always working on my ego. And so I would get this thing and I would totally identify with it, feel good about it, think that it is good. And then after a while, it started to wear off and the thoughts started to give me different impressions about it. Oh, look how mean this woman is, or she's out of control, or she's this. So I started to not get the same excitement from it anymore because my thoughts are still working on me, telling me now that it's no good, or it's trouble, or whatever it is. So the feeling of good will fade away, and now the feeling of bad will come. Whatever that bad feeling is, don't like it the way it is, want something better. But I didn't know that I was being fed by my thoughts. And so as I'm losing, I remember breaking up with girls, and as I'm losing the girl, I would go stone insane. I would singing by the dock of the bay. Anybody ever done that? Yeah. There's a song now called "You Cut Me Open and I Bleed." You ever heard that song? You cut me open, still bleed, whatever it says. But I know that feeling because when it's fade away, I'm so identified with this as being good, and now I'm losing the good, and it ain't good. It feel bad. It feel like I'm losing my soul. It's like I'm losing my own identity, not realizing that the thought made the decision that it was good. And so I identify with that, and not realizing that this is not who I am. It was just a situation in my life. Hooking up with a woman is not who I am. Or a woman hooking up with a man is not who she is. You shouldn't get a sense of identity from it. It's just a physical situation in your life, but it's not who you is. And because I was blinded by my ego, who you are. Thank you, who you are. When you're black, you can say who you is. Forgive me, I'm black. But you're right, who you are. Not realizing it wasn't who I am. And but I got this identity from everything that I would get, that not even knowing it though. And then when I'm losing it, I would literally fight to keep it. You know what I mean? Anybody ever done that? Oh yeah. You're like it, especially when you're dating and you're hooked on the man or the woman. You fight to keep this thing, even though you know you shouldn't have it, but it's like it becomes part of who you are. Your imagination has made a decision that this is good. The same thing can happen with a job. You can get a job and be so excited about it, And because you're disconnected from the light within, you're an angry person. You think this job is good. And then a few days later, a week later, the job is not so good. It's the same job. Nothing has changed except your thought about the job. And so I realized over the last 21 years that inside of all of us, there is a peaceful reality, a calm place, where all decisions are made from that place, and it has nothing to do with the physical things that are happening, and it has nothing to do with you making decision. It's just a calm, peaceful place that you live from. And so when these people, places, and things come into your life, you see it as a situation in life, but not as who you are. And so if your mind tries to tell you this is a good thing or a bad thing, you're able to reject it by just observing it so that you don't get a sense of identity from it. Because if you notice in life, nothing is the same always. It's constantly changing. Everything that you come in contact with is constantly changing. Have you noticed that?
Yes, sir.
And so, what people don't realize, because you're of your father, the darkness, you're of the darkness, you are going along with it because you're making decisions about it. Well, not you, but this thing made a home in you is making decisions about everything you do. And whenever it makes a decision for you and you believe that is your decision, you suffer. You lose. And that's why if you can find this place inside and live from there, you would not make a decision about right or wrong. You'll live in reality. You would live in the now or right here in this place, and then the world is rotating around you and you're not connected to it. And so when things are constantly changing, the cycle is repeating itself, you're still calm and moving forward. But if you're not in that place where you're guided by the light, and God said, be in the world but not of it. Right. When you make those decisions, you're setting up treasure in the world to suffer from it. Someone can steal it, take it, it can make you go up and down. That's your treasure. When you decide this woman is good, you're setting up treasures on earth so you can suffer. But if you can just accept it as it is and don't make a decision good or bad, then it come and go, but you suffer not for it. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Pat?
Yeah.
What do you think about that now?
Very makes sense.
I'm sorry?
It makes sense.
Yeah. But I never considered like my belief in a person as being treasure set on earth. Have you? Yeah. I never considered, I thought of treasure as a house, a money, a car. I never thought of it as a relationship with another person. God, I've always heard people say, well, don't put your heart into your house. It's not God, it's not who you are, right? And so that's easy. But I never heard anyone say, putting myself into a person is my treasure too. And when I lose it, it causes conflict in my life. Or when I judge it as being good, I'm sooner or later going to judge it as being bad. Have you heard that before?
Yes, I am.
Isn't that interesting though?
Yes.
But you gotta be, this is why God wants you to know yourself, because he wants you to see how the darkness of your imagination connects you to the world and just destroys you. His purpose is to rob, steal, and kill. And he can only do that by deceiving you. And if you're connected to it, you're gonna die. Uh-huh. Why y'all so quiet now?
We got it.
We're trying to think of what we connected to.
Anything that you make a decision, well, it make it for you, but you think you're making it. But anything that you make a decision about, you're connected to it. The moment you say that this is good and this is bad, you're connected. And people who are living in darkness are making decisions about everything and don't even know it. And then as soon as it's not working, this good is not working, they go to bad. Well, this is bad. And now you want to kill it. So you're always making decisions, but because you're blind, you don't see that you're making decisions. And men and women who make decisions, people who make decisions, is God. And you should never know the real God until you can get away from that. But when you find him within, it never changes. It's always good, but there's no feeling about it. You don't feel good, and you don't feel bad. You just live. Yes, ma'am.
I have a comment from a viewer. He says, when you do what is right and live in the now, then we don't have to concern ourselves with what is good or what is going to be good. Our gift from God is to live his law and not worry about the feelings. If you notice, the evil spirit controls us all through our feelings. When the feelings come, you see them, then it passes. This is from Kirk.
And he's right about that. When you're connected with the light, with truth, it's like when the cycle comes, and it does come. If you notice, there's nothing in the physical world that doesn't change. It's here today and gone tomorrow. But it's like being in the middle of a merry-go-round. It's just going around, but you're still calm and moving forward. And the good thing about it is that God would take care of you in those moments. You never have to worry about anything. But if you're not connected to the light within, then you're going in that circle with it. In relationships, in business-ships, in financial ships, in whatever ship. You're going in that circle. And most people are doing it all in the name of Jesus. And they don't say, well, if I'm with God, and he's telling me not to be of the world, be in it but not of it, how come I'm of the world? Why am I up and down? Why am I making bad decisions? How come I'm going up and down with my decisions? It's because you have not connected to the light yet. You claim that you have, but you really haven't, because when you connect to this source that guides you, you can't go with the other source that used to control you. But if you're still going with it, then you have not connected. And I want you to know that so you don't be deceived by that. There's no fear, no doubt, no worry. There's nothing but stillness there. And you constantly live, and it's not based on how you feel at all. And you don't find yourself chasing the world at a point where you're willing to do anything for it. I've been there. I know what that feels like. I would giving my soul to stay with a woman, or giving my soul for a dollar bill, or giving my soul for a job, or whatever, because I didn't understand what was going on with me, and there was nobody around to tell me. They would preach about it, but they wouldn't lay it out so I could get some understanding about what was wrong, what was going on. So when you're fighting one another, when you're fighting in these relationships, or you're afraid of money, it's because you have made a decision about that relationship. You made that decision. Well, you were influenced and didn't know that you were influenced. You made a decision that it was good. That's why not all but most, 99.99999.9% of relationships end up in trouble. Because when you first meet, you think, wow, this is good. And then if you're crazy enough to get married, right after the honeymoon, I know people who broke up at the honeymoon. They knew it was over because they made a decision, this is not good. Instead of just observing and living it, letting it happen on its own. You can't make decisions and survive. That makes sense? Anybody disagree with this first? Anybody can relate to it? Give me an example of relating.
Well, just last night, I'm in a relationship, and the guy I'm in a relationship came over with all these gifts for Mother's Day, and there was nothing I wanted. And I've been telling him over and over again what I like, what I want, and I even told him before he went shopping, you could give me money. But he wanted to go shopping, and so I was looking at these gifts, and then something clicked in my head. You know what? You shouldn't have any expectations, just be happy by myself and in my mind.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of diffused it and just, oh, thank you, it's a pretty watch, and oh, that's nice, and you know. And so it just registered in my mind that, you know, you have to be complete by yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I felt that last night.
99.999.9 99% of people are looking to something else to complete them, but they don't realize it. It's an emptiness there, and they are making decisions that I'm gonna get the right man or the right woman or the right car or the right this or the right that, and it's gonna complete me, and it never will. It's not gonna last. You gotta stop making decisions. So how do you stop making decisions? The question. The prayer, now here we can come to the cross thing, because doing the prayer that I introduced to you is not going to necessarily do it for you. How many people do the prayer in this room? See there? How many of you living in the moment? Where are the hands? See there? What the prayer does, and I think the problem is that, well, let me ask this first. And you have to speak fast. Let me see the hands again that are doing the prayer. Okay. All right. Why don't you do the prayer? Why don't you live it in the moment?
I really can't say. I don't know why.
I can't hear you.
I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know.
You raise your hand, Rick?
Yes.
What, you don't live in the moment because you don't feel worthy, right?
That and the fact I wouldn't know the moment if I see it. I only catch glimpses of it.
You need to come to a men's meeting so we can really deal with you. All right? We have them every first Thursday of the month. We had a very good one this week. It was something else. So you need to come there because I don't know where you're getting this thing, why you're deciding you're worthy or not worthy of something. Right? Why you're not living in the moment? Why aren't you living in the moment if you're doing it? And, did you raise your hand?
No.
Oh, you did raise your hand. Yeah. Why aren't you living in the moment?
I can tell you that praying helps me to live in at least some moments. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
That I know.
Yeah. Rhonda, you raise your hand?
Yeah, I still believe my thoughts.
That's why you don't live in the moment and you do the prayer.
Right.
Susie, you raise your hand?
Yeah,
And you-
I don't do well, lately I haven't been doing the meditation 2 times a day, every day, and I think that's a problem.
At one point you did though, right? You did it.
Yeah, I have.
And did you live in the moment then?
More in the moment, I felt.
But you didn't live there.
I guess not.
No, I'm just asking, did you go in and out or you stayed there?
In and out.
In and out, like In-N-Out Burger. How about you?
So can you define living in the moment?
Okay. Anybody else that, Hermes, you don't live in the moment and you do the prayer? I can't, he doing this. He doesn't want to put it on camera.
Yes.
Yes, what?
I don't live in the moment. No, I don't live in the moment.
And you do the prayer. And why do you think you don't live? Because that's where God is. The Bible says that He is right here, right now, not in the future, not in the past. It's not even promised to you. So why don't you live where He is and you do the prayer?
I think maybe I'm not committing as much time to the prayer at night that I should.
So you think
I cheat at night.
I'm sorry?
I said I cheat at night. I'm not as committed to it at night.
You cheat at night?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing the full prayer like I should.
Oh, okay.
And not consistent enough. And then during the day, I'm in my head a lot of times. And I miss those moments where I should be in the moment.
Let me ask this. It just occurred to me.
Sure.
Why do you do the prayer at all? What's the purpose of it?
To be still and connect with God.
Why do you want to connect with Him?
So I could be free. I mean, I want to be free of whatever's holding me back in life. And I want to be born again and do all,
Do you already know what's holding you back in life?
Huh?
You already know what's holding you back in life.
Yeah.
What's holding you back?
I mean, anger.
So you know that you're a very judgmental, resentful, angry person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So since you know that, why don't you let that just die on the cross? Because you can sit and meditate until the cows come home. If you're unwilling to die, then the meditation is all in vain.
Sometimes I'm willing to die, other times I'm not.
So God needs to find those moments where you're willing to die. And hurry up because it's going to change.
I realize I need to be like that in all moments, and not just, when I think is, when I want to do it. So.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I think the meditation has helped me let go of my expectations and my control and my desires.
Good.
And just let it be and let God put new things in me and new attitudes. And
I definitely see a change in you too.
Yeah.
You were a mess when you got here.
Yep, for a long
I
time.
know your husband must be happier, right?
Yes.
Are you happier now? Yeah. Let me tell you why. 1 minute left, man. So I got to rush fast. I wanted God in my life because as a kid or when I was younger, they said that if you had God in your life, you would have a better life. You'd be happy, you have peace, and that God would do all things for you, right? But I wanted him in my life, and I wanted to know what is it like to live as a son of God, to let him totally control your life. So I've always wanted that. And then long story short, I got to a point where I was tired, just fed up with trying to change my life. Making all the wrong decisions, not knowing the decisions were made for me because we don't make decisions. It's the God that you serve who make the decisions for you. And so didn't know that, but I was just tired. I was just fed up with suffering. Then I heard someone say, just be still and know God. You don't have to do all that stuff. Let go. And so that's what the meditation does, the prayer does. The only thing that it does is slow you down so the truth can be revealed to you. So don't put your faith in the meditation itself. It's just a physical act to get you to slow down so that the truth can be revealed to you and set you free. And so now I can see the difference between the truth and the lie. The lie that Satan is constantly trying to give me in my imagination. And he has saved me from that world. I've been saved from that lie, from the ego, which is the nature of the devil. He saved me from that, but he caused me to see. So when the devil is trying to tempt me with those thoughts, I'm so far away from them that I'm not connected anymore, and they can't control me because he has saved me from them, from that other world. And so that's what the meditation does. It just calms you down so God can just take a moment to wake you up and cause you to see, bring you to the light out of the darkness. But yet the darkness still comes and try to tempt you, but because the light is shining on it, you cannot give into the temptation anymore. That makes sense a little?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it sounds like you guys and ladies have a lot of faith in the meditation itself. And so you think, well, if I would do it twice, if I would do it this, it's important to do. You got to pray so you can stay aware. But only thing it's going to do is allow God to get in there and wake you up. Because other than that, you're busy trying to save yourself. Reading the Bible, hooping and hollering, quoting the scriptures, lying to yourself and others. But when you calm down, you're able to see, and then you can be saved. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Pat.
I think you're going a little far. Maybe I'm catching you wrong here, but if the meditation is helping a person, and it definitely helped me, and it continues to help me, that's a good thing.
Right.
If I see it happening, if I see them on a particular journey, whatever word you want to call it, that is beneficial, I'm there. I'm not going to, you're kind of like, it sounds like a little bit like, well, it's not helping, you've been doing this. It is helping. So
no, I'm not saying at all that it's good to do. Yeah. I highly recommend you do it. But what I'm saying is don't let your faith be in the meditation itself.
But you're assuming that my faith is in the meditation.
Well, I don't know about you. I'm just throwing out.
Or others, but it's not that the faith is in the meditation. I think most people who have meditated for a particular period of time understand that it's the silence, it's the lack of getting away from all the junk that really helps you. It's that calm thing that we want to kind of attract to, that our ego is always kind of bouncing off of. So I think that's understood.
You think most people understand that?
I think anyone who's been praying for a given amount of time.
Most people here understand what you just said?
Yeah.
That's how you all see it.
Yeah, but I don't understand because I see the effect of it. I'm still not committed to it. That's my dilemma. I don't understand. It's almost like a job to me. It's like, oh, I gotta go.
I think the good thing for me, when I first just sat down to be still and know, I had no relationship with, quote unquote, the prayer itself. I had no expectation. I had no not knowing what is going to happen at all. And I'm glad about that now, because when I sat down to do it right away, he caused me to see. And so when he caused me to see, he connected me to that light. And so I have the right kind of relationship with the prayer itself. You know what I mean? So I never had time to analyze the prayer or judge myself by saying, well, I didn't do it 2 times a day, or I didn't do it 3 times today. Or I never went through those things because I only had a moment to sit when I was able to see. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think each person has their own experience with it. You got what you got out.
Oh, I got it.
You know, you found something, you know, great. But every person has got a benefit, I hope.
I got it
that's
now.
doing it, and that's why it sticks.
Okay, it's what we're already talking about. Make no decision about the meditation itself. That's what's happening. They have made a decision about the prayer itself too. And now they're stuck on, it's like read the Bible. Oh, if I read the Bible, I'll be saved. And so you read the Bible to be saved, right? And it's like with prayer, if I meditate, I'll be saved. Right. You made a decision, don't. You have to do it with a sense of no decision at all. It's like when you were saying, no expectation. Just sit and do it.
It's an exchange that you shouldn't make that kind of exchange.
Yes, sir.
It has a value in and of itself.
That's right. Exactly, because the moment you make a decision, then you're on your own.
Right.
But the decision is made without you realizing you're making the decision. And in closing, the only thing that's holding you back in life is that you have not laid down that ego. You have not laid down your resentment. And as long as you have that anger, that resentment, the decision making, the father of your anger will constantly make decisions for you as long as you live, and he'll have you thinking you are making those decisions because you can't see what's going on. I encourage you to do the prayer so you can hopefully see your anger and overcome. All right? Did that help a little bit?
Yeah.
We also provide counseling. Feel free to call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. But you're never going to enter into the kingdom of heaven as long as you have that anger. You got to let the anger go and then enter into the kingdom of heaven. When you calm down, the possibility is there for you to do it. Thank you so much. And thank you, guys.
For more information or to purchase a copy of this show, visit us on the web at www.bondinfo.org or call 1-800-411-BOND.
You're already home.